Welcome back to the Weekend Warrior Show Recap Podcast. I'm Tyler from the Unemployed Architects. I'm here today with my good friend, Donald Sartoris from the heroic Charade.
Hello.
Coming all the way from Colorado. Just to do this podcast, right?
That's right. Mile High City itself.
Right, but you came to Illinois just
for this podcast,
right.
Yes.
You're leaving right after.
100%. Not doing anything else like birthday parties or family.
Right.
Just the podcast.
It's not just a coincidence.
They're going to be really mad when or if they hear this.
All right. So, I was going to ask you right off the bat just like how you're doing with the quarantine stuff and how that's helping anything?
Well, it's helped making music, which is kind of nice. Like I've got some really good, songs refined out of it.
You've been writing a lot.
Yes, a lot more writing, and then Ross has also been helping me out with some more of the writing like we used to when our schedules weren't so sporadic, and now that they're not. But what sucks is I've gained a belly. I have.
We all have a little bit extra.
I surprised my folks in Florida about a week or so ago, and that was the first thing my mom says was, "Oh, you got a belly, don't you?"
It's the worst. It just sucks the life out of you a little bit when.
That's because she notices the right things,
She's saying it probably with love.
Absolutely.
She just wants you not to.
Also out of surprise, like, belly.
Yeah.
Because I've always been the little kid, so.
Well, and then it usually makes, when my mom would do that, I would look down and be like, oh, yeah.
Oh, I had already noticed. I went to a beach party the day before, and, I kind of had to own it at that point.
There. All right. So, been writing with Ross a lot. Some of those old songs, the ones that you used to write with Ross, some of my favorite tunes ever. Not that I don't like the individual stuff that you guys write, but some of those old classics, we like Serenades. That was always one of my favorites, and Fun and Games, and what's the other one I love? The Whole World Versus You.
Whole World Versus You. That's a really good Ross heavy song.
I can never remember the name of that one for some reason.
We thought that it'd be a good idea to be clever about names, and now people just can't remember what they are. So it was a mistake.
What's in a name anyway? So I was gonna say the live streams that you guys have been doing have been like super entertaining, and I like that you guys did different sets and
he's kind of like, well, yeah, let's try it once, see how it happens, and apparently people wanted to see us, so we ended up wanting to do another one.
It's really smart to spread them out, kind of. I know that's not even like necessarily intentional. But
no, it's because we're lazy.
That's kind of what 100%. I was implying, but I wasn't trying to be too mean about it. But I think that works to your advantage in that fashion, because when you guys do it, it's such a it's an event. I usually mark it down and
it works out that way, and we roll with it. But and
it gives you time to learn some new stuff.
Yeah, which we really should use for that.
Right. I was gonna say the last one you did a couple Tyler Childers songs. And I've been diving more and more into him since then, but even before then, a little bit I was digging at, and the one you did, Lady May.
And Nose to the Grindstone was the other one.
And that's like his breakout hit. I feel like was Nose to the Grindstone, and I really liked how. When you did it, that Lady May is kind of a little bit softer timbre of vocal, and Ross Tyler Childers has a harsher voice for sure.
Yeah.
But that is definitely on his softer side.
Definitely.
And so it fit Ross's voice very nicely, and that Nose to the Grindstone, much harsher, much more gritty, and it really just fit your voice.
Right, and it wasn't even really planned. He said he wanted to do one, and I just wanted to do one better. So I chose a different one.
Right. Well, they neither were better. They were just different. Right. I'm a little bit more partial to Lady May. It's
such a good song.
Song-wise. I don't dislike the other one. It's just kind of dark and gritty.
It's more fun to sing the other one, but lyrically and sweet. The Lady May's got some really good. All of his songs have some really neat lyrics.
Yeah, I was listening to one recently. It was called "Followed You to Virgie."
Oh, it's a good song.
And then he told the story about his grandma.
Yeah.
Not his grandma, his buddy's grandma, and going to they used to just always jam at their buddy's house, and the grandma would always sit around and listen, and then she died. And then he was going back to the funeral.
Well, and then he's he's a country musician, but he's a storyteller with all of his stuff, which is what's kind of or like at least he like generates like, some good imagery in all of his songs.
Well, I feel like as a lyricist, he's very good in that genre. There's a lot of country artists that just I feel like don't even try to make very
up till him. I didn't know there was some that did well.
There's a few.
I'm sure there are.
Stapleton killed it.
Yeah, I know.
And his vocal is like an 80s hair metal
he's
singer.
really good.
Who else is there? Jason Isbell. I don't know if you know any of his stuff. Sturgill Simpson, which he has more of a acquired taste vocally, but his lyrics and stuff are interesting. Covers some interesting.
He's been experimenting with some cool stuff lately too. He did like an album that was all set to like anime thing, which hooray!
So, I did a couple anime videos.
Did you really? I haven't seen them.
Oh, you might like them.
You should shout out some of those links, Tyler.
They're just on the Unemployed Architects YouTube page. You can find them very easily. Evelyn would be one of the songs, and the newer acoustic version of Firebound. But
that's cool.
If you listen to this podcast, you've heard me say that way too many times. But that's the three people. So
sure, yeah, right.
Anyway, we were talking about the Follow You to Virgie and how. That whole song is about how they used to jam in high school. So that brings me back to...
Nicely done, Ty. Here we go.
Yeah.
We're cooking with grease here.
I was trying to tie something together. But anyway, so in high school, you and Ross specifically, I remember doing the Madrigals. You guys... Ross was in my band for... I was in his band for a while, and then we kind of switched roles there for a little bit. But, we played together for all of high school, and I actually started with him at our youth band in middle school.
I did not know that. I knew he played with you in the Unemployed Architects.
This is the weird thing. Listen to this. So who's in that band? I was just talking to Big D on the last one we did. Blair Steffens, band leader. Me on acoustic guitar, Kevin Lyons on bass, and then Ross Graves.
Okay.
That's how we all learned how to do play in a band together.
Oh.
It's crazy. I like it, and we just continue. Blair and Kevin didn't play, we didn't play together at all in high school, and then it was Kev was always one of my good friends, but right when we started college, that's when we really started playing together, and it was just funny to think back to all those times in the Methodist sanctuary.
Well, the first time that Ross and I tried to play a song, he was the only one that knew how to play guitar at the time because of those things, and we tried to learn Friendship is Rare by Tenacious D. And we did learn it, and it sounded
pretty... I kind of remember that.
Yeah, we just did it up in the back room of his mom's place out of Manlove.
I'm going to take the Ross Graves back a little further. Right. First song I ever wrote was with Ross Graves. We wrote 2 songs in a band that we called Where Are Tyler's Shoes? And we literally had the old gooseneck microphone that you just plug directly into a desktop.
Yeah.
Super, crappy, and just played them live, recorded them, and we thought we were just like so good.
What were the songs? Would we know them if we're Unemployed Architect fans?
One of them you might, but the first one we did was called "Depends on What You Make It," and it was not a breakout hit. Now the second one,
the title's solid. It sounds like a good title.
There was a part in the song where I would say, "Depends on what you make it." So, it was a good classic tune.
So you guys just heard someone whisper in a song, you're like, that's what we're doing.
No, the real reason was I probably wanted to be a part of the singing part, but could not sing yet. So I just rather than sing bad notes, I was just like, depends on how you make it.
See, I can do that. There you go.
Yeah. And the second song was called Sunshine, which you may have heard that one, but... it would have been years and years and years ago. I actually just found all these songs not that long ago, and I sent them to Ross. I was like,
really?
Sometimes I forget that the first time I ever wrote songs was with Ross Graves.
Are you planning on being like, George Lucas Star Wars remastered with these old songs?
I don't think he can do it. I really don't think he can do it. But we did think we were very cool. And then we played Beans and Intergalactic Warriors.
Oh, that's right.
And
I remember that band, Beans.
Right, and I think I talked about this with D a little bit. Was such a good singer compared to everybody. And then when I started singing, I was like, yeah, I'll just be the singer to my own band. And I had one of the best singers in our high school just playing bass. and I was just singing terribly and just having him just take a backseat, which I think he probably was like, oh, I don't have to be the front man. That's kind of nice.
But he liked that for the longest time.
Right.
Even when him and I first started singing, it was almost like pulling teeth to get him to like come out and do lead or like sing more of the harmonies, which now he's like, it's second nature. It's what he loves doing now, which I really like seeing.
I never would have even. I've always deemed him as like one of the best singers.
Oh, you and I both. You and I both, man. I'm a huge fan of his voice.
Not to take away from your voice as well. I mean, I've said on several occasions
thank you, Tyler.
that you have a very, very strong, like good, and your pitch is always just dead on.
Correct.
And I like the confidence. I don't have that.
No.
Envious of that. But anyway, yeah. So you two together was really, really cool.
Well,
you
yeah,
started
we
playing.
sung in all the choir and madrigals together, which really helped our ability to blend our voices together.
I remember in high school going to one of those events and seeing you guys sing together. I was like, oh yeah, they're like really good. Like, and that was when I just started singing, and like I didn't even realize how bad I was at that point. And maybe when I saw you guys, I was like, oh, that's different.
Well, us proving to you how good or bad you are was never the goal, Tyler.
Disagree.
It was
all
a
about me.
Fortunate byproduct, but never the goal.
But so then I remember this time shortly after graduating high school that I lived with Big D, and you had just gotten a guitar and you were tuning it kind of an open tuning to play a couple songs. And
Because I only known like the two at the time.
it was Dallas Green. Right?
Yeah.
Dallas Green. What was the song called? Was it
Happiness by the Kilowatt was one, but no, it was the Coming Home maybe?
No, it was...
what were those
I'll
songs?
see you
Yeah,
again.
maybe it's just I'll See You Again is what it's called. A long time from now.
I thought the title would come up.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't.
I keep wanting to say a place. Anyway, I don't know why I'm hung up on this. And I do have a cell phone, so I could secretly be
Right.
answering any question that I ever had.
Then I'd have to carry on the conversation,
All right, you
Tyler.
better
And that
talk.
was part of my contract that I wouldn't have to do that coming on your show.
Yeah, I thought you wanted to do the whole thing by yourself.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't let me do that, so.
Dallas Green.
That was great.
And,
I did that. I did Happiness by the Kilowatt because it was just two chords back and
and
forth.
that was like a darker song, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, as long as it was only two chords, where I could keep one finger on the same string the whole time,
Right. Well,
then I could do it.
and I remember giving you like, "Hello, I'm in Delaware."
Hello, I'm in Delaware. That's
a
it.
great song.
That was a good song.
It's a great song when you did it, but you got me like listening to that song all the time.
Well,
Like,
I still cover a couple of songs that you showed me at the time.
well, I just remember giving you like a hard drive or something, or like a bunch of CDs I burnt for you.
Yeah.
'Cause you were driving out to California like
Yes,
that
yes.
next week or something, which is crazy to think about.
Straight through. 19 years old. Fuck it.
And so you went out to California, and did you start playing a good amount out there? Or?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, first, I don't want to get too far off of it. I still listen and play a couple of Julia Nunez songs that I was shown by you.
Regrets.
And Into the Sunshine. Another good one.
Yeah.
And Ross is a big fan of it now too. Like he's got like
voice-
her tracks on the Spotify now that he listens to.
Right. Her voice and his voice have a similar vibe.
Yeah.
In general.
She's also how I heard got really into the different songs by Say Anything that I covered.
Whoa, and-
Walk Through Hell.
Oh, I haven't heard you guys do Walk Through Hell.
Long
in a
time.
I missed that tune.
Our friend Amber really likes it, so usually we play it at her request when she's around.
Right.
She's a big fan.
And that guy from Say Anything, he's good and everything, but the way he like sticks his tongue out.
The word he chews through every word that
very
he says.
enunciated and sticks his tongue out.
Musician impressions with Ty and Dime. So here we go.
He's great.
He really is marvelous,
amazing songwriter. And I still listen to him to this day, but he has a very specific sound.
And I still even find more songs in like his album catalog that I didn't know before. I still find more songs that that's been out for years that I didn't know that I like.
Right. But I remember you guys doing Walk Through Hell for sure. And so then you went out to California. I just was going to say, because you came back a few times and you came to our place, and I remember like you actually like playing guitar, because before you had just got the guitar and you could play an open tuning kind of,
Yeah.
and then when you got back it seemed like you took like some real leaps and bounds.
Well, I just I found upon a chord book, and I would just I would find two that I could do, and I would just spend an hour going back and forth, and then I'd do another one. I'd do that one to the first chord, that one to the second. I would just
Right.
keep, and then that's just how I gained muscle memory over different songs.
But
And
I mean,
then-
I just feel I do feel like you improved like a lot on guitar very quickly. I mean, you've always been musical, so I think that probably helped you out.
Oh yeah, a lot of things that like strum pattern, just because
Right.
of like the natural
can
rhythm
kinda
of other
hear it.
music, that came very easily to me. And then also like even though I didn't have the ability to do any of it, whenever I'd play guitar from you or sing for you, you would show me a little something, store it away. Like, I can't do this now. I'm not going to learn it while I'm not good at it in front of someone else.
Right.
But I'm gonna, I'd figure out a couple things that way. Like the shape that some chords should be. Like, you showed me I was playing G, not the way people usually do, and then it
Right.
was fine. But you were like, here's how they usually go back and forth.
And just being aware of that stuff as a guitar player when you're trying to learn the song and you watch somebody do it, I feel like even if you're doing the chord wrong, like when you're playing it live, as long as when you're trying to learn it, it makes things easier if you just know like the traditional way a lot of the time.
Right.
But anyway, that's boring guitar stuff. So and then you moved in with me for a little bit. That was crazy.
Yeah, me and all the aforementioned people,
Yeah.
except for Ross, all lived in that house.
Yeah, so nuts. I just had Big D on. He lived with me the longest, and then you were there.
We were all there together.
towards the end of my reign over at 808, and we were doing shows like all the time then too.
Yeah, and when Ross was in town from, I think he was in at U of I around that time.
Right.
So he'd come up and do shows with us when he could.
And you went down there a few times. Eventually,
Yeah.
after you lived with me, you moved down there. Right?
Yeah.
And I did some shows with you. I think the Canopy Club is the main one.
Yeah.
I remember that
Some of
show
the best ones we did down in Champaign were at Canopy Club.
Canopy Club used to be so cool, and then I went there once.
I haven't been.
I mean, it just
Is it the same?
yeah. I mean, it looks the same, but there wasn't like anybody there.
I mean, we're also like almost 10 years older than we were.
I know.
So
but-
like it's probably not marketed to us anymore.
Well, I'm just saying, I did a show with like some Champaign local people down there, and I expected them to bring the people, and
Not so much.
it's one of those shows.
Oh man.
And I was just surprised because probably 5 years prior to that, we had played there on like a Monday or Tuesday night in that front room as a full band. D, Blair, me, and Kev. And there was of course that was when all our friends were in college down there.
Sure.
So, I mean, all of them came. Plus, there was like a 4-band bill, and every one of those groups had, that many people.
I like that front room there. That's
Yeah.
where I'd prefer to play because
Not me. I would really like to get in that big room sometime.
Oh,
but-
I'd like to do mic checks in that big room. That's too many people for me.
Well, there doesn't have to be a lot of people.
That's true.
I saw Lucas Nelson there.
That
and-
might be even worse if there's not a lot of people in the big room.
Well, that's what I was about to say. So I saw Lucas Nelson there, and Willie Nelson's son, and maybe, I mean, at the beginning it seemed like there was probably over 100 people, but by the time he was playing, I mean, we were right up front. There was probably 50 total people there, and he played like it was a assembly hall full of
Oh yeah,
people, like an
that'd probably be a
arena.
good sense of musicianship and showmanship that would have been good to see.
Oh, it was crazy. It was so good, and he was just so that's something that you just can't force yourself to replicate, no matter how much you want to. But watching him play, he just looks like he's the happiest to be there, and it just
I'm miserable every time I'm on stage, so yeah, I could not replicate.
I have problems with that as well, which most people are pretty aware of. I don't really hide it very good. But anyway, it didn't matter. It just didn't matter to him.
That would be really cool to see.
It was, and I mean, I know that the Nelsons like their marijuana.
I don't think that's how it's pronounced, Tyler.
I'm pretty sure that's it. But
I think it's called doing pots. Get
But,
your vernacular.
Maybe that's the secret.
Mm-hmm.
But he just his guitar tone is like for electric guitar. And I mean, I'm not a big. I play mostly acoustic, but the more I teach, the more I play electric guitar. And his guitar tone is like vintage, one of my favorite vintage tones that there is. Like it just always sounds so good, and then he just shreds. And he's a great vocalist and a good songwriter. So
does his voice sound better than his father's?
it sounds almost the same, but it's just like a different genre of music.
Because I've never heard his son, so I don't know what he sounds like.
I know what we're doing after this.
All right,
we're hearing
very
a song
good.
called "Set Me Down on a Cloud." It's my favorite, so check that out. Lucas Nelson, "Set Me Down on a Cloud." It's Lucas Nelson and the Promise of the Real. There's two versions of it. You want to get the Promise of the Real one. The other one's like an old EP.
He's got to promote him 10 times before he gets to open for him again. So he's trying to hit
I
that
definitely
quota.
I wish I opened for him. That would have been amazing. But anyway, that was a great show. I saw Young the Giant in that room. Complete opposite. Packed to the
they blew
brim.
up.
Well, they had a show that got canceled, and then they just set a new date for everybody that got tickets. Within that time, there's like a year period, they just got huge. So not only did they, have a bunch of people that had already bought tickets to their first performance, they had everybody else that could have possibly bought tickets on top of it.
Well, even that big room in there is not that big.
Right.
It's not a huge
For
venue.
me, playing there, it would be
Sure,
big.
sure. You and I both.
But for it's not an arena or anything. But it was absolutely, his vocals are
Samir Gair.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
I think that's how you say his name.
That sounds right. I mean, I've seen it written a bunch of times.
Right.
But
yeah, gorgeous tone. That's why Ross and I do a couple of their things as well.
And I always am a big fan of that.
I mean, just because we're such fans of his voice, like, all right, let's try.
But the harmonies you guys do for like "I Got," oh man, that's so good. And if you what
else, Ty?
I mean,
it's like eating a good sandwich. Oh, that's so good. Or, Texas tea. Oh man, love it.
They have a bunch of stuff like on YouTube of them playing as a full band, but it's like totally broken down. They're called like takeaway shows.
Yeah, they have a lot of good ones of those.
I think there was a time period where they were doing them once a week, and they have a bunch of just really very cool locations.
Yeah.
But he's singing completely acoustic, unplugged, unprocessed, and his voice
still just sounds
time
as smooth as a glass. It's really, really good.
It's like unreal how good it sounds. And that first album, I think. Was it just called? I think it might have been Young the Giant.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Self-titled, but
yeah, I remember the artwork.
We used to play Duran's or
Garands. Cough syrup was popular. I know Blair did My Body, didn't he?
Yeah. Yep.
There's that one. Ross and I did Strings off of that album.
Oh, that's a good tune.
And I think our buddy Jay used to do Apartments.
Yep.
Yes.
Wow.
Something.
It.
Boom. Got
Yeah.
it. We all liked Young the Giant.
Yeah.
What can I say?
But if you listen to that their first album, it's just like hard not to. It's like from track 1 to the end. I mean, there might be 2 songs I hit the skip on.
Yeah.
And
after having already heard them. And I think the only ones I ever skipped were the Cough Syrup and My Body, just because I heard them all the time on the radio
and
prior to. Yeah.
I really can't. I was obsessed with Cough Syrup for like when I first heard Young the Giant.
Right. Well, that was the first one I learned. So like when I had the album and hearing it on the radio, just over and over and over again. So that one got worn out first. But it was a good tune.
But I was gonna talk about just playing general shows with you for. I mean, how many years did we do that? It was probably 3
and 4? Counting.
Yeah, I mean, we might do one Saturday as well.
Yeah. When I was living with, probably 3-4 years.
I mean, because we did it a little before and a little after too.
Because that was after my first trip to California. I think I went to Orange County for a small stint after that as well, and then came back again, and now in Colorado.
Right, and then we were doing. I remember I had a little bit of a residency at Drifters for a while, and you would come and do that, and then it flip-flopped at some point.
I had my weekly shows there.
And then...
Or my weekly drinking hours there.
But, so we played at Drifters all the time, and there was a couple other little... Where else did we play? Like
Did a couple at the
Blue Line?
Loft. Blue Line, we had a good run.
Because I was doing weekly shows there for a long time. Sometimes I'd be doing 2 nights a week. It'd be like Wednesday night, just my show, and then Thursday I would do like an open mic. So you would come out to, I think, both of those at different times.
Yes. And then like when Ross could make it, we'd schedule one for that as well. And I think a couple of times, whether it was with you and then because of that other show separate, but when Coconut Louie's was still a thing,
Oh, yeah.
we'd go out there and do those. Yep.
Coconut Louie's, that brings me back. That's like very, very beginning of, because before that, that's the like one. Before that, there was only one other bar I could play at that because I was too young to play at. Coconut
That's
Louie's was when I was 21. I'd been waiting to go to their open mics and stuff, but before that, it was just Envy Ultra Lounge. Did you do any of those? You
Never
don't
did those.
remember?
No, way too cool.
Firehouse Pizza.
I did Firehouse with with Tyler too.
Firehouse
Yeah.
used to be Envy Ultra Lounge. So
Oh,
same
okay.
place.
Okay.
So that's what I thought I had a memory.
I knew I was
a
waiting
picture,
for some place to get cooler, and that must have been that one I eventually
Yeah.
went.
and then it was
Or they
like-
were waiting for me to get cooler. It didn't happen.
But yeah. So I mean, we played shows together forever. You've always sang a few tunes with me, and I've played guitar in a couple of your tunes. Monotone Disaster and why do I always want to call it Durans?
Because
It's a weird
it's a
word.
GE. It's a GE, so it makes you want to say
Durans.
yeah, but it's Garands, I think, or maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I've never heard anybody say it.
Yeah, I know.
And what does it mean? Is it a real word?
Ugh.
Putting you on the spot.
Next
Answer
question.
it.
There's no comment. No comment.
All right. So you moved out to Colorado after that,
Yes.
and the first year, did we connect at all when I was out there? I don't think we did.
No, I was trying to forget the people less cooler than me in my life. Deleted you from my phone.
Yeah, like you had a phone. like you were organized and saved my number to begin with.
Right.
But anyway, and then the second year we did one show together, right? It was just the one.
Was that the one at the place called Your Mom's House?
Yeah, and it was a Monday night show because it was Labor Day.
I think so. Yeah.
So that was, I don't know, that was the end of our tour.
That was a lot of fun for us though, because like we were excited to see you. We wanted people that liked us to see you. It gave us an excuse to like go on to an actual like show setting again.
Yeah,
and we had to see a lot of people from back home that went to see your show.
Had you and Ross been playing a lot at that point?
Oh,
Before that, I mean.
not for like any other reason than but to like pick up girls at parties. Like that was it didn't work, but that's why we would do it. But yeah, no, nothing more than that. I think we maybe through our friend Pinner, a couple other guys, maybe we did like a show up in Georgetown. And a couple other like small spots, but like nothing really. More
Georgetown. I've stayed in Georgetown because C.J. Davis.
yeah. Who also came to that show at your mom's
Right.
house. And his mom all came. They're great
Yeah, Nancy.
friends and fans to have.
So, side note to that, the year that we played at your mom's house, I went to a Jason Mraz concert at Red Rocks
Nancy,
with Nancy
yep,
and
she
CJ.
loves Jason Mraz.
And
So do I. For that,
You
for the
do a
fact.
lot, you did a lot of Jason Mraz.
Yes,
songs
a couple
at
of them
one
is still
time.
stuck around, and actually a couple new ones of his that I do now that I always wish I could pull off.
You know, I was pretty surprised at that show of how much it kind of reminded me of a boy band. A little bit. There was,
Of what, Ross and I?
No, I'm saying Jason
Mraz. Yeah.
There was a lot of more dancing than I expected.
I'm not surprised. For like he does, like his shows look so different
Right.
than other things. Almost either like
well, it's like sections. Like he does a section. He did because the conga player was there for the first time that he played with him for like years and years.
And the last
years.
show that when they were still doing shows together, it was very like intimate, just them two
Right.
on a room on a stage. But yeah, he does a lot of different. So I haven't seen the boy band stuff, but I'm not surprised.
Right.
At
And
all.
he has a good enough voice to get away with it. But,
Definitely, he's got a great voice.
I'm not I'm no Donnie Sartoris style Jason Mraz fan. I liked him a lot in the very beginning when he was, just more acoustic, but some of his songs, that first album, again, the freshman album was super good. There was like There's probably only 3 or 4 I really liked on it, but those songs were like really good.
I'm still trying to gauge how much of an insult was Donnie Sartoris caliber Jason Mraz fan.
I mean, you're a big Jason Mraz fan. Or
Yeah.
He was like a big influence on you, I
He
think.
was, absolutely.
And I mean, it's not a bad person to be influenced by.
No, vocally especially.
Vocals are dead on almost all the time. I actually have a DVD of it's called The Gorge. It's a Dave Matthews Band DVD, and
This is the one that was always playing downstairs at the place they were living
that
at.
Big D was just constantly you probably.
I mean, he would always put it on. Kevin would put it on. I'm pretty sure you did too.
I don't think Kevin would have put a DVD of that on.
No, maybe he would
downstairs.
just sit down and be like, "Hey, Don, it's pretty good."
But D had a very bad habit of playing a DVD like that over and over and over again, or just the title screen of it, of where it would just start and then it would say it has like a lot of music DVDs have like an opening riff, like for that menu screen.
And would he just forget it, or would he just really like the riff that
both
was on?
things, both things, and he would use it to write sometimes. He says so. He would like because there weren't vocals or anything. It's just like a little bit of music. So he would like try to jot down some notes or work on other songs. Kind of use that as his like metric or something. But
I can see that.
Anyway, the point of me bringing up that Dave Matthews The Gorge DVD is there's a excerpt in the middle where Dave goes, he's like, there's a young kid out front playing some songs, so naturally I went out there and I stole his guitar, and the kid, somebody's getting wild out there.
Excuse me. Whew, open the window.
So in this DVD, he's like, so naturally I went out there and I stole his guitar, and it happens to be Jason Mraz playing the beginning, like where all the tailgating and stuff is. They're just up on like a tailgate playing a full set. There's like a full setup with him and the conga player, and cool. He's in that DVD for a few minutes.
That's awesome.
It was crazy surprise that he ended up and got like very famous. Because I think when that was shot, it wasn't the case. He was equivalent to like me or you, and you especially.
You guys can't see it. I'm patting Tyler on the back for that one.
But it was like it was kind of a crappy sound setup, and like I don't know, it didn't sound like super professional, but it was just kind of a cool little side note, and they included it in a crazy DVD, maybe partially responsible for him blowing up a little bit.
Maybe. Let's speculate on more things.
Let's just say
what else could have happened? Maybe
he took him backstage, and maybe after that they went on tour together.
I hear that's also where he lost his virginity. Did he catch something from it? I don't know. We're just asking questions.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was just making blanket statements that I was assuming were true. Okay, so then the second year we went to Colorado, we had a show booked together, and I booked it so far in advance that the place actually closed by the time the tour actually was.
Yes. What was that place?
It was a little like, I want to say wine bar or something like that, or a little brewery that was like, it wasn't huge or anything.
Someplace I've never been to, yeah. Because I only go to the cool spots, so.
Well, you didn't keep them open, that's for sure.
Nah, I didn't go to that place.
Right. If you would have went there, you would have been... I want to say it was like 34 Brewing or something.
Something like I'll just say all the places I still go to are still open.
Okay, well, we know the X factor now, that you are it. So that it got canceled by the time that we actually had the show, and then I couldn't really book anything else in the Denver area before 34 Brewing.
I think that sounds right. Are you still trying to figure out the name?
I don't know. It just popped in my
head.
Yeah,
34 Brewing Co.
We'll just keep it.
Just be confident.
Anyway, and then, so what happened is we played... Where were we? We played up in a place called Grand Lake, I think. Or was... Yeah, because it was Saturday night. We went to your place after...
That we went. When we played. Are you talking about when we played together again?
No, I'm saying.
Or when I came and saw you.
The second year that we went there, the Laughing Go.
Yeah.
That was Boulder.
That was Boulder.
So that was Friday night.
Yes.
That all went down. Okay. So we played in Boulder. Donnie just doesn't tell anybody. Of course, just shows up. And was super excited that he showed up. I obviously do wish I would have known because I would have probably pulled you up on stage. But
I was also very late.
Yeah, well that's expected. Though.
Yeah,
I
came
it wasn't
very
a surprise. But yeah, that was a real weak turnout that year. I remember the year before was super packed, but that. So I was very thankful to have you, and then I had Ewar, Sam, and then you had brought some.
My friend Nadine had come along with me.
So I mean, you guys made us look like we were, because I mean,
kings.
Yeah, 4 people.
Coffee house kings.
Compared to the rest of the crowd, at least we brought a couple of people. I mean, because it wasn't just our show.
Well, and they also serve wine, so I got a good share of drinking in those 2 final songs you played.
Yep.
So made it worth the coffee house this time.
Yeah. Well, it's better than not coming. And it was super nice.
I was super happy to see all ya. It's Sam and Ewar and like that, and get caught up with them and like what's going on in their lives as well.
I think I was playing like one of those old tunes that you used to maybe sing on right when you like walked in, like Misery or something, and I got goosebumps. I was like, thank God. It's like a little bit of a relief and a little bit of, because 2 people doubled our crowd.
Right. Well, it's like there's actually a funny story about that going back to the Champagne days. Do you remember WEFT?
Yeah, Weft.
I did
that like last year.
I remember we had done a show on there for him, and it was going really well. We actually like brought a bunch of people came into the studio with us.
You have recordings of this on YouTube.
Yes.
I've watched those several times. Let me tell you about them.
Okay, go for it. I mean,
so you guys brought a good crowd in.
Yes.
You had there was a conga player or djembe.
That was Jake Starks was playing the djembe for us.
Right.
Really good friend.
Mandolin.
Patrick Heddens.
Electric guitar.
Robbie Holiday.
Yeah, that was my.
That's him. Yeah, he's
the man.
Physicist.
I did a lot of shows that he played with you guys at. I think at Blue Line. And stuff. And I always that kid was just a ball to be around.
No, he's great. Great to talk to. Great to talk to. He's doing something with like rockets or fission or physics or something. Yeah. Something that I should get wrong in guessing because it's so far out of my league. But yeah, he still plays guitar or whatnot, but he's doing well.
He was always really good at guitar, so maybe that physics translated somehow. Just being smart, I think.
Yeah, Ty.
Helps you.
How's your guitar playing going?
Oh, way to knock.
Fuck.
No F words, Don.
Oh, really? It's
PG. I have a lot of
I didn't know
children that listen.
You don't have a lot of anything that listens to this, Ty.
Yeah, right.
Oh no!
My fan base is.
But the story I wanted to tie in was that after the first break, the guy comes back and he says, "This is the first time this has happened, but they have doubled the listeners for leading up to this." And then after we play the next set and shut down, he goes, "Technically, what I said was true, but there was 1, and then now there was 2."
Well, they max out at 25. It wasn't. But in your defense on that, you guys aren't big on like letting people know maybe about.
I mean, we're definitely better at it now than we were.
Right. So you probably didn't post it on any social media, no links anywhere.
No.
I mean, it was pretty much a private.
I mean, we told
for those
word
people.
of mouth helped a lot. Like I said, people came into the studio, which is not what radio is for.
Well, it's nice though because
it is
after
nice.
You play a song, you hear people.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that instead of just like
dead silence.
You've heard like stand-ups trying to do a comedy now, where it's like joke.
Yeah. You hope there's laughs.
Yeah.
But you don't know, and you can't really even do it that way. That guy that comes in there, he's like a stand-up, I think.
Yeah, he's pretty
Tries
good.
To tell some jokes and stuff. But a lot of it's just filling dead air because you're tuning, and so to have those people in there is a nice like comfort thing.
Also, I remember Ross and I we could not get our throats to not feel like an arid desert.
Right,
Cottonmouth so bad in that studio, more than almost anywhere else. But the guys in there were very accommodating, knew what they were doing.
They're super nice.
They're really cool.
Guy, the engineer that just knows everything about everything, and he probably, if I brought the Heroic Charade up, he'd be like, "Oh, I remember that show."
Yeah, if we brought you up, he'd be like, "Nah, get the fuck."
But there's some interesting songs in that session too. I mean, there was a lot of them that I feel like Did Pinner play guitar a little bit too? Did you say that? Or?
Not for that show, but we have played with them.
Or wait, who played? Maybe I'm just thinking of the mandolin player.
Yeah,
but,
Patrick Heddens.
But yeah, and Ross played a little bass here and there.
Yep.
I think, and then he played a couple acoustics.
And I tried to play bass.
Ooh.
Thank God they were 2 notes on. Or a song where like the second note I was playing still fit into with the chord he was on.
Right. You got at least 3.
Was not good at bass.
Well, you gotta put time into it just like anything else. Bass is one of those things that's not like that fun to do by yourself either.
True.
So you can't, it's hard. Like for me as a guitar player, it's hard for me to get excited about going in a room and just, if I'm recording something and I need a bass line, like that's a lot of fun because I, can really like, mess around and really come up with like a part. But yeah, you at home didn't see that, but I just did a little bass dance.
And I mocked him for it.
And he mocked me immediately after. And it was funny, but a waste of time.
Oh my God.
This isn't a video podcast.
Ooh, but it was a good one, guys.
Yeah, worth it. Anyway, so, I still go back and listen to some of those sometimes.
Well, that was when we really got the hang of, like, Rivers and Roads, which a lot of people still really like.
I got a story about Rivers and Roads, and everybody probably has one that knows you guys.
We've heard our share. Please do tell.
My story is I was at I booked you and Ross a show at
Theater School.
Theater School, cool.
Yeah,
it's all one word.
That was another one.
I was a booking manager over there for a couple of years, and I booked you guys, and you sang that song, and I was like literally just floored, and thought you guys wrote it as well. Not only was it an amazing performance, the lyrics were just brilliant. And it just hit me at like the perfect time, and I was like, I was a little jealous that I couldn't write that song, and just blown away that it sounded so good.
We barely remember that night because we had both taken down an entire bottle of cough medicine. We were very sick. We were very sick that day.
Could not tell at all.
Yeah, we had them next to us, and we were just drinking out with those instead of water bottles. We were so sick that day.
Was that the show with Nathan Shields?
Maybe. What I just tell you about how much I remembered that show, Ty?
let me ask you 3 more follow-up questions about that show. No, I'm pretty sure that was the night that Nathan Shields played because he was in town, and then it was you guys.
Cow, yeah, don't remember that at all.
I opened the show, that was my because I was a booking manager, I always kind of weasel my way into opening a lot of shows over there. But it was a busy night, and you guys sounded really good. Nobody, I think, would have guessed that your voices were gone.
Solid.
But I literally was just floored by that song. Like that part where he says, "My family lives in
a different state."
What's the line before that? Because that's the one that really...
Been talking about the way things change. My family lives in a different state.
Right. I don't know. There's something about... And the harmony right there.
It's really where, there's a nice volume climax there, along with
the recording has a nice, you
have a recording from that? Or?
No, I'm saying, the drums in the studio recording of that by the Head and the Heart, they pick up right there. It's not... I mean, the Head and Heart isn't real drum
they're getting to be more and more so now. I just heard one of their newer songs.
Some of their newer stuff. I didn't dislike it. I thought that was good. I wish that I dived in a little deeper. But speaking of which, Donnie pretty much made me learn a song on Monday.
Yes.
Which is a song I've liked forever by the Head and the Heart called "Lost in My Mind," and so Donnie is like, "Hey, well, we're planning on doing a live stream tomorrow with me, Donnie, and Blair." And Donnie's like, "Hey, Ty, you should sing lead on this song that you've never played or sang before, and we should just try it on Friday." So I didn't really think I'd be able to do it, but I knew it a little bit better because I'd listened to that song so many times, because it is a great song.
It's a good song.
And so I'm pretty excited about it.
I think one of the last things and then our first conversation was like, "No, it's not going to happen." "Oh, do you know it's not going to happen?" And just kind of growing and up, born and raised Catholic, I know how to be passive aggressive. I ended the conversation, well, I believe in you, Ty.
Right.
Okay, and that was about it.
And then I guess it worked because I somehow, usually the hardest thing is...
Thanks, Mom, teaching me these skills.
But usually the hardest thing is just the lyrics for me. I mean, the melody, I don't know. I'm never good at any melodies. But anyway, I didn't think I'd be able to do it, and I was very surprised, and now I'm really excited about doing that tomorrow. So
It'll be fun.
and that's a great band, great song. So and tied into Rivers and Roads a little bit. So what I was gonna say about that time we came over to your house,
over
Colorado, Boulder, Colorado. Don surprised us, and then after he invited us over, which was a terrible idea in theory.
Because you guys still had more shows to play, correct?
That was our Friday night. We had Saturday in a place that we would be further from if we went into Denver. Plus, driving in Denver for somebody who doesn't drive in Denver
right.
was slightly nervous. It was late enough.
I didn't care about your reasons at all.
Right.
I only cared about was me.
Right.
Me.
And you
I
coerced me into coming, and
Got it.
We had a blast, really. I mean, there was a lot of people there that I knew, and we ended up playing a lot of music that night.
Yes, we did. We come over for like half hour to Atlanta States, like what, 3-4 in the morning?
Late. So story after that, we were staying in this place called Kitten Ridge, which was in the direction of our show the next night, and the Airbnb that we had chosen, it didn't have a just like very good description. Turns out it was just like a trailer this guy owned. No mention of trailer in the Airbnb. So, it was like this tiny little town, and like it was pitch black. It was 2, 3 in the morning because we stayed at your place way too late.
Yep.
And so it took us forever. I was wandering around in the dark, worrying about getting bitten by snakes. And these crazy, these mountain drives to get to this place.
Yeah.
We actually drove by Red Rocks. So, I mean, it was definitely in the mountains.
Oh, yeah.
And late at night. And then I'm, trying not to, fall down this hill to go check this house to see if it's the right one. And I'm just thinking house the whole time because he didn't say trailer. It took me, and so I'm messaging this guy at 4 in the morning, where is this place? And my map isn't taking me to the right place because I map quested it, of course. And then we finally found it, and it's his trailer. And if he would have just said trailer, I would have. There's a clear trailer park.
Oh yeah.
I would have driven immediately there. And then to put a cap on it, my phone for some reason didn't change time zones. So the next day we end up getting up an hour early. And, then we needed to.
It's better than an hour late.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe.
Yeah, it was a bummer.
Oh man,
we slept 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I was gonna bring it back to that party. That party, you had a buddy, Justin DeBerry.
Huge fan of this guy. Great friend of mine. I was actually just hanging out with him. He was with me the night I got shot the other night. Yeah.
We need to talk about that.
No.
Eventually.
It happens to people. But no. I was really excited. That's one of the reasons why I knew it had to happen, because when I was still at your show, he was hitting me up saying he was in town, 'cause he lives up in the mountains with his wife. He wanted to hang out this night, and I just was like, okay, you had to hear him.
Right.
He had to hear
I'd
me.
actually heard him once before.
Was it on the radio show we did out there?
You guys did a radio show, and I streamed the whole thing because I'm a diehard THC fan. And,
Thanks, Ty.
And he came on there. He did a couple songs. I didn't really get it that much that day, and of course I didn't know him, and I just wanted to hear you guys sing more songs rather than. So I mean, I kind of wrote him off a little bit, and then we end up back at your place, and I force you guys to put on a private show for me. And he ends up eventually grabbing the guitar and playing this song.
Nashville's Burning.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see you put out. I love that song. He's such a good songwriter.
Literally, the room went quiet.
Yeah, dead silent listening to this guy play.
And just everybody in there was floored, and we were like, holy shit, who is this guy?
I mean, well, he showed me Tyler Childers.
Yeah.
He introduced me to him.
And I would say that he's along that same vein.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
It's a little country, little Americana, a
little outlaw-ish.
Right.
Sweet outlaw-ish. You know?
But man, was that guy good.
He's really, really, really good.
I really hope that he gets some recordings together.
When we did that radio show and a couple other times playing, he kept saying that, he wanted to book us these shows so we could, write off our coattails, and as soon as this happened, we're like, that is the opposite. We're going to be riding off of your coattails this whole time.
Maybe in 10 years, you might flip-flop if he gets some good good content out there.
Yeah.
People they would just need to hear him a couple
Well,
times.
then supposedly he's getting some content out there soon. He just bought some recording stuff so he can get going on it.
I mean, in all honesty, the reason you brought him out is the same reason I would always have you guys do our show, because I was a big fan. It would get me jazzed about playing.
Yeah.
If after listening,
it gets you excited when you listen to someone like
kill
that.
it, I'd be like, "Whew, this is a fun night. I'm gonna be up there soon. And I'll warm up for 20 minutes singing along with you in the crowd." So
yeah, well, so a couple weeks back, or a month or so back, him and I did a show at the Laughing Gum Boulder together. And
I saw you guys were doing that. I messaged because I follow them on Facebook, and they were live streaming it one night.
Yeah,
I heard you do "Sweetness" by the lead singer of Young the
Yeah,
Giant. Say his name again?
Samir Gayer, I think.
Oh man, that is such a good song.
I love doing that one too. And so does Ross. So we kind of got to like, every time I'm playing and he's not there, I gotta play "Sweetness" because when we're together, he does it.
And his voice might
It fits it so much better. I know
I just think it's different. Again,
I love Ross's voice.
Of course, you're going to be more of a fan of, not you.
No, of course about it. But no. So I played a show with Justin, and his wife isn't getting there for another couple songs or something. So he gives me his phone to record it. And it's just the most unusable piece of crap because I'm just dancing with the phone back and forth, singing along.
Like, the phone's just getting in the way, man.
You can hear my voice in it better than you can hear who I was supposed to be recording. And so I asked him, like, how are the recordings? He goes, it's just shit down. I'm like,
you ruined it. But I don't know. But
I'm a fan of the guy.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, if you go to a concert and you have your phone out, a lot of times that's what happens. You hear the crowd more than. Because you're a fan, you're singing along to every lyric, but he, being like the level he's at, he's probably not. Doesn't happen a lot, I'm guessing. But
sure.
Anyway, that is crazy good, talented guy. If he has any websites or anything, just type his name into something. I don't know.
Yeah, again, he's not on Facebook.
But does he have?
He doesn't got anything.
He did that show with you, the radio. Did they record that or?
I'm sure. Ross has it all somewhere.
Right. Man,
I'm not good at this.
If he was in this town, I would have him set up.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so yes, check out Justin DeBerry. I don't know if he has any music anywhere, but if you see his name ever, click that link because.
Oh, as soon as I find it, I'll post it on mine and Ross's page as well as Tyler, so anyone can find it. He's worth it, tell you what.
And maybe I'll put it on the comments to this.
There you go.
Put it on YouTube.
That'll be good.
But yeah, he was great. So you said you've been writing a lot of songs recently.
Yeah, trying to anyway, or at least refining ones that.
I mean, I've heard some of the ones that you played on the live streams that you had just wrote before all of this.
Right.
Are there any new ones beyond that, or is it just those ones?
I don't have a good memory, but I think yes. I think yes.
I gotcha.
There's and like in some cases just like more lyrics, like no like song structure or anything like that, but definitely I've written a lot more lyrics.
Yeah.
And who knows if I'll ever do anything with them, but at least they're there.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it always happens where you're like kind of have a writer's block moment, and then you circle back to some of the stuff.
Well, I'm not good. I don't get the same like. I don't build up as the same amount of steam when I'm typing as when I'm writing.
Right.
I have terrible handwriting. So a lot of these songs I get
spend the time deciphering, maybe probably written songs because you've misread it and you're like, that was better.
Yeah, right. It's very very possible. Probably happens all the time. But yeah, I was actually just showing Justin a song the other night that I had written in sort of response or inspiration to when he had just started, and it took us like an hour to get through like half a page of lyrics because it's like, what the hell does this say?
So do you play with him? Like, do you jam with him a lot, or?
Yeah, we'll
he seemed to know your songs pretty well.
We'll pretty much play like ping pong back and forth with the guitar and because
which is I think very similar to something we would.
Yeah, absolutely,
day, for sure.
Or like even when you came over the night the first time afterwards, it was just like, oh, here's a new song I'm working on.
Right.
Here's me too.
Yeah, I didn't really play anything that night. I played something for him later, like when it was just me and him, because he asked me to.
Right.
But,
I was talking about when you and Lo came over to the house I was living at before, after the your mom. Yeah. Yes, we did the back and forth.
That was a good night. I mean, for me, the show was almost worse than that part. Like, I had more fun at your place after just in the room.
I would say this. The only reason why I enjoyed the show so much, like I said again, was like seeing Rainbolt there and Nancy and
speaking
CJ.
of people talking or singing too loud while they're at a concert, I set up a camera and tried to tape you and Ross.
We did the same thing. You can't hear shit.
You hear everybody talking way more. But John's voice, of course, takes the cake for just being just a little over the top.
Good man, I like Daddy Boy.
Yeah, it was great.
Was his brother there too? Or no. Okay, because I know that back here. His brother and his wife come out to a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, they're always big supporters. Joe has always been, Joe and Brandy have been a huge support for me.
It's just pleasures to be around.
Yeah, I mean, they're just come on,
they're just fun.
They elevate every show they come to.
Absolutely. Every room they come to, I'd say.
Yeah.
But, learn to be a charmer, Ty.
But, I mean, literally, like, I'll be playing a show, and those two will show up, and I'm like,
gives you second wind.
Everything is going to be all right. Like,
yeah.
Tonight's going to be good no matter what.
Absolutely. I get that.
They're just so supportive, and, like, it just you can breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
They've seen you. They know that you're not trying to prove anything to those guys. They're just there to have a good time. They've heard you be good. They've heard you be bad.
They're there because of how much they like you too. Like, so you know, like there's just a nice happy energy to have.
I'm just having a flashback to playing at the Elks Club in Pontiac with you. No sound system. You don't have any recollection of this? You don't. I'm trying to put a time period on it, and I just...
Was it like right after high school? Like before I even left the first time?
Maybe it would have been.
Did I have like really short hair and I almost only sung Jason Mraz songs?
It sounded right.
Yeah, okay.
I think you did an Eddie Vedder tune that was pretty
good. The Last Kiss song. That's those 4 chords you learn when you first start playing guitar.
Right. And you can do almost anything with those.
Yeah.
And you were doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
You just move that capo around.
I think, did you play with us at the food hall at Heartland one time? Yeah, their eyebrows just raised. Yeah, you remember that?
Flashback.
There we go.
It was like a songwriter night thing.
Yeah, something like.
And Jay Dietrich might have been there.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
What was that like? Also, speaking of songs we did with Jay, that like looked like a house beauty parlor like theme about that we played outside in the back.
Looked like a house.
I don't know. I barely remember it. It was something someone worked at this place and they wanted people playing out back and.
Yeah, I'm having a tough time pulling that up.
All right, I'm not the only forgetful person.
Yeah.
What he doesn't know is I'm just making stuff up so I don't seem like I'm the only person that doesn't remember something.
But Jay is somebody I always wish that.
What a voice on that kid! What a voice on that kid!
I just wish that he would. I mean, he sings in church and stuff, but
sure.
I really wish that you two would have gotten together. You guys, the few times you did get together, seemed like you guys got along very well.
Yeah, we had very.
I don't know if I've ever heard you guys sing together really, but speaking of that Sweetness song, he used to do that before I've heard anybody else do it.
Oh really? I'd love to hear him do it.
He does it. Ross does it, and you do it.
I bet you he'd sound amazing doing it.
He sounds amazing doing just about anything because. Jesus, the voice on him.
Yeah, that was the first time I heard one of my favorite jokes. Kevin spun it, saying about Jay. He's like, some people sing like angels, but angels try to sing like Jay,
right?
Or something like that.
Very dad joke.
Yeah.
That's classic Kev.
I use it all the time. Don't sue me, Kev.
Well, I'm sure he wrote that out. He has the copyright. Kev also always tells the story about the first time he met Jay. We lived in an apartment complex together. That's how I met, and I had a piano class at Heartland with him. That's how I met him. So this is not related to what the other story I'm saying, but
because it's been a cohesive thought this whole time.
It doesn't happen. It's not going to be if I'm talking. But anyway, so we're in this piano class, and I don't know anybody there. It's Heartland first year I was there, and at the end of the class, Jay, do you know the band The Fray?
Yeah.
So he just busts into this Fray song, plays it flawlessly, like on the piano, and sings it, and just everybody in the class is just like, "Why are you here?"
Yep, I got that impression from him a lot. He's so good.
Yeah. Well,
and what a delight to be around. He was it was a lot of fun. That kid.
Well, that was the story I was going to tell from Kev. Is so the first time Kev met him, because I was introducing him, Jay runs up to him. He's like, he has a stethoscope that he just like hands Kevin, and then he is like, "This is my pocket knife." I just like the complete like just random Jay stuff that comes up all the time, which you and him, I mean, would get along very, very well on that front. I mean, he's a little more random, I think, but your energy of being like just laid back and kind of making jokes all the time. But I would really at some point, I don't know if it'll ever happen, but I'd like to hear you guys sing together, because I feel like
it really should. We should make a point to try that. But
I
anyway,
feel like that was the plan at some point.
Is there more to it than just stethoscope and knife, or
that was it?
That was it. Okay,
yeah, it wasn't a good story, I know, but it just
they've all been knocked out of the park so far.
But I don't know. It just was like the essence of Jay.
That's
what I was trying to say.
that. Yeah,
it's just like the first time that my bass player ever meets him is just the most random. He just said the most random things.
He was saying the most random things.
That was just who he was. He was always just random and funny, and just the vocals though. I mean,
so good.
But so I was gonna ask if you guys got anything coming up. I know obviously nobody really has anything coming up right now.
We are prepared to strike. We haven't set the invasion date yet, but we're ready to go again. We've had songs that we've been working on separately.
You're saying for the live streams.
Yes, right? yes.
And that's just on the Heroic Charade Facebook page.
It'll be posted there and on our both of our individual Facebooks.
Right.
After I'm done with.
So go and like the Heroic Charade Facebook page if you have not.
You should have him on next week.
Ross is gonna be in town.
Yeah, you go. Look at this.
Why does nobody tell me things?
Because
at least you did.
Props
to you. You told me a long time in April that you were gonna be in town, and I had a show set up that we were gonna play together.
Yep.
And that did obviously not pan out, but
nope.
But anyway, so. I was happy that you hit me up, gave me a little bit of notice, didn't just randomly show up, and but I'm disappointed that Ross is gonna pull a Donnie.
I know. Well, we switched a lot of roles.
Switched roles.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be great. I would really like to have him on.
And just see you'll have a whole series of all the guys that were mentioned in that like high school era of hanging out.
So we got Big D. You, Donnie, and
Ross coming up.
I plan to have Blair on, and I plan to have Kev on, and probably Dave and Lo, and
then you'll be able to buy those separate sections in the box set. You'll get 5 shows over 16 DVDs
and 19 payments in 1995.
Yeah.
Just PayPal me in advance before it comes out.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my God, that'll be so funny.
But so that'd be really cool and something to look forward for next weekend. But I asked you about shows you have coming up. We're gonna be doing maybe one tomorrow. We're gonna be doing a live. I'm probably put it on the Unemployed Architects page and share it on my personal, and then maybe I'll have you share it too. And Blair's supposed to come, so. We don't have any idea what we're going to do. We have guitars sitting over there. We're going to try to figure that out after this.
We should probably get to that at some point in time. Is it? Oh.
Right. We're definitely planning on doing Lost in My Mind. I know that. But that's all that's on the docket. And we're going to try to put together 10 songs.
I want to run back up Misery and Gloria.
That'd be awesome.
To refresh those in my head, too.
I wouldn't mind trying Grands.
We're going to look at it. It's going to be pronounced Duran's, and I've been pronouncing it wrong.
I don't know. It's tough to say. But so we're just going to wing it tomorrow, see what happens. I mean, we've all played together at different times. So, Blair's played guitar with your couple of your songs at some point, I'm sure. Right?
Yeah. And I think in both those times it was right before the song. Right. Hey, Blair, want to try this? He's like, yeah, sure.
And probably just did fine.
Yeah.
That's classic Blair. And we're going to be doing a stream on my Facebook. And potentially, I'm trying to get you to come and do a show I just picked up at the Kankakee Farmers Market.
Right.
On Saturday. So we'll see how that goes. Just got to ask. I will say that we'd have to leave very, very early because it's 9:30.
Hurting your chances, probably.
I know. I just want to. I want to know where you're actually. I want to give you the expectation. I don't want you to be all excited and be like, "Well, we have to leave at 6:30," and you being like,
"See ya."
Yeah, and not gonna excited about a show and maybe getting some money and then I'll just dampen it completely. But anyway, so we're gonna get going on some practice. I'm amazed. I'm gesturing very wildly, and Donnie decided to give me a high five because I was being ridiculous. But I was gonna say I'm very happy that I didn't bring up the Lord of the Rings.
My God!
One time, and you did a very nice job of holding off.
Still doing a nice job holding off after you bring it up. And
I
you
know,
don't want me to talk about the greatest thing ever made.
Right. So after you see how easy it is to do a podcast, how bad do you want to do a Lord of the Rings podcast?
I mean, I don't want to limit it to Lord of the Rings. There's 6,000 years of history that only Lord of the Rings covers the third age of men. So would love to.
Yeah, I don't think my iPad has enough memory.
It does not.
If we
me, nor the brilliant mind of Tolkien.
All right, so we're gonna get to practicing. We appreciate everybody who took the time to listen, and you can check out the Heroic Charade on, like I said, their Facebook earlier.
Or reach out to Ross.
Or SoundCloud.
SoundCloud, yes.
I
have new things on SoundCloud.
Stream your stuff there quite a bit, and as always, you can check out the Unemployed Architects on Pandora, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, or theunemployedarchitects.com, YouTube, and on YouTube you can stream this podcast, and you can stream our music as well, and you can come back. Hopefully, thanks for listening. I really appreciate you. Have a good rest of your week.
Bye.